Hello, good people. This is Singing Dawn, and I'm Ellen. I'm so glad that you have found your way here to take time for your practice with Singing Dawn today. Today is day 6, and we're going to spend a little time with the image of Mother in our practice. So let's get ourselves set up on the chair, soles of the feet spread out on the floor, and our hips with some fluidity in the hip joints and pelvic girdle, with our spine, freedom and dancing with the breath, rolling back and forth through its natural curves, belly dropped open and soft, responsive. The rib cage and the lungs expanding in all directions. The throat, base of the tongue, and the jaw nice and loose. Sinus cavities in your cheekbones, behind your eyes, and your forehead energized and open. Daylight between your scalp and your skull. And imagine an open space at the top of your skull so that from the soles of your feet all the way up through your body, there's a free open flow. You are a conduit, a big fat open pipe for energy and vibration. So as I sing Bright Morning Stars, I invite you to focus on your breath, breathe in and out through your nose, and invite your consciousness to become simple and supple enough to ride on your breath through your body. Bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising, bright morning stars arising, day is a breaking in my soul. And as I light the candles and we continue our entrance into our practice, just remind you to light candles at home, to bless your throat, heart, and diaphragm and lower belly, and to invoke what is holy for you and to set yourself an intention for our practice today. So today I'd like to offer us a few images to lead us along our journey. And all of these images are related in some way to the notion of mother. If you consider the Latin word, the Latin root, mater, M-A-T-E-R or M-A-T-R-I, as in maternal, matriarchy, mother, matrix. These are meanings which include resonances of matter, matrix, mother, womb, and ground of being. So what happens when we enter into these images and use them as boats to travel in on our journey of singing dawn? So you might have noticed that in the doxology that we're using, I've chosen to use the word mother to invoke the first person of the Trinity in traditional Christian theology. And I'm suggesting this usage in order to nudge ourselves out of a too tight identification of particular human words and concepts with the unnameable mystery of the divine. We can often get stuck in too literal understanding of the connection between our words and the great spiritual realities out there. So mental spaciousness, emotional spaciousness, spiritual spaciousness help us to move. They give us space to move and to be moved along our journey. You are free, of course, to use the name of Mother as a way to call on God as you wish, or to just let it be, let it go, and to use something else. But I'm curious and I'm interested that if you practice naming the first person of the Trinity as Mother in this doxology during our practice, I'm interested in what you might notice and about whether and how that affects your experience of chanting. What comes up for you? Let me know. I'm also suggesting the use of Mother for the first person of the Trinity for this reason, that one of the most common words in the Bible to describe God's love is a Hebrew word, the root of which means womb. It's translated sometimes as mercy, and sometimes as compassion, and sometimes as loving kindness. But all of those translations are rooted in this one word, rachim, which is the noun, or I think that's the verb, which means womb love. And this is God's love. We will be chanting this love often on our journey. And as we do, naming God as Mother may help us to connect with this notion, this image of God's womb love for us and for all of creation. Finally, I'd like to offer an image from Psalm 110 that may help us to situate ourselves and our singing in the womb of God's love and in the gerundive and gestating action of dawning, of God's becoming, of creation's ongoing becoming in God. Verse 3 of Psalm 110 is enigmatic, and translations vary a good bit. The King James version of this verse is one of my favorites, and to me it's one of the most evocative, and it goes like this. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. In the beauties of holiness, from the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth. I'm just going to read that verse again. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. In the beauties of holiness, from the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth. Let us find ourselves gestating and willing in the womb of the morning. You may notice that I have the lights on, and it's quite dark outside as I'm making this recording. When we actually do our practice of chanting the opening verse in the doxology, I'm going to turn off the lights, and as I do that, I'm going to invite you to enter the darkness with your intention, to welcome the darkness, to soothe your sight, and to open your ears, to open the ears of your heart, as Benedict says in the very beginning of his little book. Open the ears of your heart. Sometimes that's easier to do when we close our sight. In Benedict's time, this daily practice of singing up the dawn would often have begun in darkness. Also, a small practical note, today we're going to start inflecting opening verse and doxology. And inflecting just means that instead of singing everything just on one pitch, there's just a little variation of the pitch at the end of a couple of phrases, and this is how it goes. Holy One, open my lips, and my mouth shall proclaim your praise. So we're just going a little bit down on claim of proclaim. We'll do it again. Holy One, open my lips, and my mouth shall proclaim your praise. That's all there is to it. And then for the doxology, listen up. Glory be to the Mother, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as always before, so now and forever. Amen. Let's do that one more time. Glory be to the Mother, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as always before, so now and forever. Amen. It's just a little way of giving some shape to those lines. So I'm going to turn off the overhead lights. It's going to get quite dark in here. And we are going to chant the opening verse, Holy One, open my lips, and our doxology. And you'll remember that after the opening verse, we'll take an inhale to stand, and then we'll bow for the doxology, and we'll come back to seated when it's over. So here we go. Holy One, open my lips, and my mouth shall proclaim your praise. Glory be to you, our God. Glory be to the Mother, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as always before, so now and forever. Amen. May it be so. Thank you for showing up today and offering yourself. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.